to this computer. Everybody's going to get a recording after the fact. Just give me an hour or two after this call is done so that I can download it, the recording from Zoom, and then upload it into YouTube. I will always send you an email after. I'm going to send you an email with this recording, as well as links to our YouTube that have our onboarding video playlists and also previous advanced training videos, so that if there's anything you missed here, if I'm going too fast, you can always kind of refer back to it or watch some more, do some of your own learnings. So don't worry, you will be getting a recording. I am going to ask that everybody keep themselves muted throughout the presentation. Reason being is that you guys know, if you've been on one of these calls, we have a lot to get through, okay? We've got a ton to get through. We're going to get through the entire platform, start to finish, all of the advanced features, really dive into each individual feature. So I want to make sure to get you guys in and out of here in the next hour and a half before Nick needs this account back for onboarding, okay? So we've got a ton to get through. I know that you guys are, you have a million things on the go right now. Sometimes we stop, we take phone calls, we're multitasking. Totally cool. It makes it really tough if somebody starts to answer a phone call or have a sidebar conversation in the middle of this, and then I got to stop what I'm doing and try to figure out who it is that's unmuted. Just keep yourselves muted. If you have a question though, I do have a chat bar just right down at the bottom. You can see the little chat button. Go ahead, click the chat button, ask your questions in there. Everything will get answered. Chances are we'll get to what you're asking as we kind of go through. But either way, at the very end, we always do a Q&A. So I'll pop back into the chat. I'll read all the questions that came through throughout the presentation. That way I can make sure that everything was touched upon. Anything that we missed, I'll answer the questions at the end. I'm notoriously bad for presenting and also manning the chat at the same time. So if you ask something and I don't answer it right away, don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. I just suck at that, but I will get to it at the very end. I always do. The last and final thing is that this is an advanced training, okay? So if you have not done your onboarding quite yet, so if this is the first training you're doing, you haven't done your onboarding, you haven't set up your account with Nick quite yet, this might feel like a lot. That's okay. Definitely still stick around. You are going to learn a ton, but just know that we are not going to be going over any profile setup stuff, any of like your headshots, your logos, your colors, you're answering your profile questions, any of that initial profile setup stuff. We are not going to be touching on any of that. This is for those who have a couple of generations under their belts, who already are a little bit familiar with the platform so that they can really continue to dive deeper. So if you haven't done your onboarding yet, just make sure that when you log into your RealEstateContent.ai account, there's a little red button on the bottom left-hand corner that says join weekly training. Click into that, choose a level 1 onboarding, choose any date that works for you with Nick, and he'll make sure to get you guys all set up. And I believe that is it. We will jump right in. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. Again, if you have any questions, plop them in the chat below. I'll get to all of them at the very end. And then for those who just joined a couple of seconds ago, I did mention in the beginning, but you are going to get a recording at the end of this. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen. Beautiful. Share screen. Okay, let's move this guy over here. Okay, cool. Brian, you want to give me a little thumbs up if you see my screen, okay? Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to minimize my head here. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to start off with the content calendar. When you log into your account, you're going to land on your content calendar here, okay? And it's going to look a little bit something like this. So as I kind of scroll through, you're going to see I have content in my calendar. Depending on where you are in your RealEstateContent.ai journey, you might have content in there already that you've generated and scheduled, or your content calendar might be completely empty. Regardless, we are going to go through the process of generating all the way through to editing, just so you know exactly how to fill your content calendar up like I have here. So I've gone ahead, I've already filled it up so that we have some content to play with. But we're going to go ahead and just start from the very, very beginning. First thing you guys are going to do when you're looking at your content calendar is you are going to take a look up here in your topic bar. Okay, so your topic bar asks, what would you like your content to focus on this week? And within here, you can type whatever you want to create content around. It doesn't have to be a fully fleshed out idea. You don't have to, type a full paragraph in there or full essay. It doesn't even have to be perfectly spelled or have perfect, be perfectly grammatically correct. You can quite literally type anything in there. So, why young professionals love living downtown Austin. Beautiful. I have spelling mistakes in there. It's not perfect. I can still go ahead and generate. So very, very easy. You can type in any topic that you want the AI to create social media content about. Now, if you click into the bar, you're going to see immediately, it's actually going to give you a ton of suggested topics that you can choose from. Now, these topics are generated based off of the profile questions that you answer when you set up your profile. So those 5 questions, the location that you service, your clients, your niche, a little bit about your bio, it's taking all of that information and then it's giving you some really great real estate related topics. So I had mentioned that I'm in Austin, Texas. As you can see, as we kind of scroll down, it's giving me some suggested topics like why spring conditions favor first-time home buyers in Austin with more time to decide. What or how to prepare a realistic budget for buying your first home in Austin, including all ongoing costs, steps to get pre-approved for a mortgage before starting your Austin home search. Really, really great kind of informational real estate related topics. You can go ahead, you can choose from any one of these and you can generate more topics below as well. This is also going to refresh with new topics for you every 7 days. So you can always expect to have new topics coming in here. The next thing you can do when you're in here is we recently launched the ability to copy and paste a URL into the topic field. So when you are picking a topic, let's say you have a very specific topic that you want to talk about. Maybe it's from a blog that's, a local blog that talks about events happening in your area this weekend, or maybe it's a link to an online market report, or even a recipe or a news article. You can go ahead, you can copy and paste that specific URL, and you are basically telling the platform, hey, I want you to read what is in this URL, and I want you to create social media posts around this specific URL. I want you to use this as a reference. So don't search the web, don't go elsewhere. This is the reference that I want you to use to create social media content for me. This is perfect for those hyper local blogs. Like if you're already checking online to see, what's going on in my area, or new businesses that have opened, for an example, you can very easily do that. Copy, paste it in, it's going to create social media posts for you. So that was a feature that has been very, very highly requested for quite a while now. So we're really, really excited to launch that one. That will work with any public facing URL. So similar to the create a property listing feature, you need to make sure that whatever URL or link you are copying and pasting into there is accessible to the public. So if it's something like a news article like the New York Times, where you have to pay for access to it, or you have to have an account to log in to get past the paywall, we aren't going to be able to read it. So if you can't read it, we can't read it. Just keep that in mind. Or if, it's one of those articles that has like a ton of ads and it's just like really crazy, it might be a little bit harder for the AI to read it. So those are just some things to keep in mind. Make sure that it is a public facing URL and that it's easily accessible. We have also recently added the ability to add an attachment. So here, this is going to work very similarly to that URL in that if you have a very specific piece, a very specific document that you would like the AI to read to create social media content around. So think like a training document or a market report, anything that you have kind of saved in a PDF that you want to tell the AI, hey, I need you to read this and create me social media posts using this as a reference. This is the perfect place for that. So now if similar to the URL and link, now you can just add your attachment, it'll read it, it'll create posts for you. Things to keep in mind here are that this is not a place for you to add photos or logos or headshots. You would have set all that up with Nick. We're also going to go through that in the editor and all that good stuff. These are specifically you telling the AI, this is what I want you to use as a reference for creation. So you can type your own post topic in, you can search through the real estate related topics, you can copy and paste your own URL, or you can add an attachment. Tons of different options to choose from. Now for here, if you guys have been on an advanced training with me before, you know that I am a huge believer in trying to at least challenge yourselves to at least once or twice a month, take this topic field and type in your own topic, okay? And again, it doesn't have to be perfectly fleshed out, doesn't have to be grammatically correct, spelled perfectly. I just challenge you to think of the conversations that you are having with your clients on a monthly basis. What are the sorts of things that you're talking about? You know, most of the time it's kind of more normal day-to-day stuff. So, hey, I have a dog and I want to live downtown Austin because it's super dog friendly. So, you know, why dog owners are choosing downtown Austin as their next move. Or maybe I'm a very social person. You're talking to your clients and they're young and they're social. They just started a new job. And you're like, you know what? This is a great area for people who want to go out and they want to socialize. Or maybe you're talking to a young family and they're like, we really want to find places that are close to trails, nature, quiet, away from, you know, the hustle and bustle of the city. You guys know what sorts of conversations you're having with your clients on a daily basis. So try to just challenge yourself to literally once or twice a month, put in here, you know, why families are choosing to move to X location, or the best coffee shops in X location, or why you don't need to live downtown in order to have, you know, access to great amenities and stuff like that. Try to challenge yourself, click generate, see how it does. But that's my number one suggestion for here is every once in a while, just try to type in your own thing, hit that generate, and see how that goes. So when you are ready with your topic, you're going to go ahead, you're going to click that red generate button. So right back here, I clicked this red generate button and your generation options are going to pop up on the right side. Okay. So here immediately you're going to see that it is choosing your persona. So it will always choose your default persona. Most users are only going to have one default persona, but if you do have more than one persona, so if you did set one up either with Nick or on your own, you can go ahead and you can tell the platform before you even generate, hey, I want you to, you know, look at this topic from the lens of this persona. So for an example, if I am an agent and I focus on, you know, buyers and sellers as clients, but I also am trying to recruit to my team. So I have an agent and team recruitment persona. Or maybe I also offer property management and leasing services. If I want to take a different lens on this topic right here, I can go ahead and choose one of my other personas. And now it's going to take that topic. So why families selling now in Austin can negotiate better terms with motivated buyers. So it's now going to take that persona and kind of write about that topic with the lens of the persona that I choose here. So most of you are probably going to just be using your default persona, but it is important just to know that you do have the ability to change it if you want to. The next is that you're going to choose which days you want to post on, okay? So it's going to allow you to choose up to 7 days to generate for, okay? And that's not to say that you can't fill up all of April and then, you know, go in and fill up all of May and have your next 2 months all scheduled and ready to go. It's just to say that for this topic that you have now chosen, why families selling now in Austin can negotiate better terms with motivated buyers, you are choosing 7 days to generate content about that topic. The AI is going to do a really, really good job of giving you a variety of different posts about that topic, but we don't want you, you know, choosing 7 days straight of talking about the same topic over and over and over again. We also definitely don't want you choosing 30 days straight of talking about the same topic over and over and over again, which is why for any given topic, you can generate up to 7 days and then just switch your topic, generate another 7 days. My biggest suggestion here is instead of doing the 7 days straight, do, you know, 7 Thursdays in a row. So now you're hitting families who are selling now in Austin every Thursday for the next, you know, 7 weeks. Or even better, do every other Thursday. And now you're talking about this topic, every other Thursday for the next 7 weeks, and then do your next round of generations. So try to avoid choosing 7 days straight of one thing. And definitely just try to avoid going through and generating, always choosing the same topic. You want to spice it up. You want variety. The next is the time. So you can choose a time. If there's a time that you prefer to generate your posts for, keeping in mind that you can always change this after the fact. Absolutely everything you can change after you've generated your post. So the time, the date, the post type, absolutely all of that can be changed after. This just kind of helps you right off the bat. If you have an idea of when you prefer your post to go out, go ahead, choose it before you hit generate. It's going to save that time for you for future generations. But let's say if you do generate and you change your mind and there's a specific post you want going out at 9 a.m. or 2 p.m. for an example, you can always change it on the actual post that generates, but you do have that quick little change if you do want to set it before you generate. Then the next is the type of content you want to create. So upon generation, you can choose between 3 different types of posts that you're now generating, okay? So you can choose to generate a carousel post, a static post, or a reel. These 3 types of posts, again, keeping in mind that once you've generated that, if you change your mind after the fact, you can always change it after the fact. That's no problem at all. So what you're going to, I'm just going to click out of this super quick, just so I can show you guys the difference between a carousel post, a static post, and a reel, just so you know kind of the difference between the 3. So I'm going to click out of this generation bar, and we're going to click into here just so you guys can see the different post types. The first is a carousel post, okay? So a carousel is a swipe through informational style post. It is a post that has multiple slides in it. So as your viewer is swiping through your post, they are learning something new on each individual slide. So this post, for an example, is talking about, taking kids to open houses and some tips and tricks for that. So as they kind of swipe through, they're going to see, chat with your kids, pack a backpack, wear comfy clothes, visit during quiet times, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It keeps the viewer on there for a long time because they're swiping and they're learning. This is going to be the most common type of post that you can choose. Reason being is that these posts actually perform really well. So carousels and videos tend to perform really, really well. The algorithm likes to see posts that are a high effort. So whatever they deem, okay, this person has spent a lot of time putting this together, they're going to favor those posts. So when they see multiple slides, when they see a video, immediately the algorithm is like, ooh, okay, this person has spent time on this. We're going to make sure that this performs well. So this is a carousel style post, swipe through, informational. This is going to be the most common type of post. Then we have our static post. So a static post is a single image with a hook on it that kind of brings your viewer in. So this one, for an example, you can see it's an image. It's got a nice little hook on there, and it says most parents make this huge mistake at open houses. So now your viewer is like, oh, what's this huge mistake that most parents make? And it kind of prompts them to read that caption. As they're reading the caption, they're spending time on your post. Great way to introduce some more variety so that you're not always doing carousels or not always doing videos. Things to keep in mind here are that if you choose a carousel type post for Facebook, the platform Facebook specifically, Facebook is always going to default to a static post, okay? If you're doing the AI generated flow, it's always going to default to a static image. Reason being is that Facebook doesn't support swipe through carousel style posts. It posts them as more of a photo album dump, which looks really like totally fine for listings or individual photos. But if you're trying to do photos with text, the way that it publishes them, they're all kind of out of order and it looks really messy. So we had them go out that way to start, and we realized that it was not doing any of the Facebook pages any justice. So what we did was we did this improvement. You're going to see if you do choose carousel, it will default to that static image. It's very intentional. You're going to see this little note down here. Facebook doesn't support carousels. So post display as a single high impact image for better engagement. It's very intentional. We're trying to make sure that your Facebook page looks nice and clean, and it's not just like a dump of words that don't make sense together. Then the final post type is our reel. So you can choose to generate a reel upon generation. The reels are aesthetic B-roll style videos. So they're short clips. They're usually 5 to 15 seconds long and they loop. So I'm just going to turn this volume down just so it's not loud for you guys. But basically they look a little bit something like this. There's going to be a hook on them and it's going to prompt your viewer to read the caption. So this one says, think you found your dream home, spot these deal breakers first, read the caption. As the viewer is reading the caption, that aesthetic B-roll reel is looping. Because it's short, it's looping in views, and every time it loops, that counts as a view. So this is a great way to sprinkle in video content across your content calendar without having to film anything, without having to, turn on your phone and video yourself. Great way to kind of sprinkle in some video content. I'm going to show you some other ways to sprinkle in more video content as we go through, but these are just your 3 types that you can choose from upon generation, always keeping in mind that you can change the post type after you've generated. So this is just going to kind of help you upon generation. If you for every Wednesday, you want to generate reels, every Thursday, you want to do carousels, you can do it right off the bat, and then you have very minimal changes to make after you generate. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pick a couple days, we're going to keep the carousel, and then you can choose which platforms you want to post on. So you guys are going to see Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and blogs. As you can see, there is the option to generate SEO optimized blogs right in here. So the blogs, you can generate an SEO optimized blog on the platform. And then what you can do is you can actually copy the blog and paste it into whatever blog hosting or website hosting platform you're using. So blogs will integrate with any users who are using Go High Level. If you are a user of Go High Level, you can integrate the blogs directly so that they publish directly. If you are using anything else, you do not have to sign up for Go High Level. Okay. We only launched Go High Level as the first integration just because it happened to have the most demand for it. But if you're using like luxury presence or WordPress or Squarespace, it's okay. Go ahead, generate an SEO optimized blog. You can go ahead, copy it, paste it directly into whatever you're using to host. Super, super easy if blogging is a part of your strategy. So you can go ahead, you can kind of choose which ones you want. One thing you are going to notice in the generation flow is you're going to notice that TikTok is not a part of the generation flow. And if you've been on an advanced training with me before, you know that with TikTok does really, really well with like really personal kind of talking head videos. You really have to be the kind of person that can just like open your phone, start talking into it. TikTok does well with those types of videos. The TikTok algorithm is very, very intense. Okay. So TikTok is not going to do well with kind of informational style, generic videos. TikTok also does not love real estate agents. Unfortunately, you kind of have to be a professional content creator. So for that reason, we've kind of left TikTok out of the generation flow. That being said, I'm going to show you guys how you can repurpose the aesthetic reels to post to TikTok. As you know, if you've gone through the integration process, you know that you can integrate your TikTok. So you can very easily, if you are a person who is creating your own videos, you can totally go ahead and schedule them to post directly to your TikTok. You can also repurpose the videos from here to your TikTok, but just with the asterisks to know that like TikTok is going to do really well if you are speaking into the camera and not so much if you're just kind of posting like a, here's things to know about bringing your kids to an open house, that kind of thing. So you can go ahead, you can select your platforms, and then you click to generate content. So you guys are going to see this advanced settings option right here. We are going to come back to that at the very end. There are a lot of settings in there. And after we have gone through the rest of the platform, all of those settings are going to make a lot more sense for you. Okay. So I'm very intentionally leaving that out for now because it's going to feel very overwhelming. But once we've seen the rest of the platform, when we hop back into advanced settings at the very end, it's all going to make sense. So we're going to ignore that for now. We're going to go through the rest and we'll come back. Once you've chosen your platforms, your post type, all that good stuff, you're going to go ahead and click generate content. Now, for the purpose of time, I've already generated content for us. You guys know if you've gone through the generation process that it's going to come in kind of shimmering tiles as it's generating. And then once the content has generated, it's going to come in solid like this. So as you can see, I've got a ton of content here for these 3 days for us to play with. And you can also see that each individual platform is color coded. So Instagram is pink, Facebook is blue, LinkedIn is teal, X is black/gray, and then blogs are yellow. So right off the bat, you see that it's color coded. You're also going to see the logo for each individual platform on the bottom left corner. So also at a glance, you can see which platform it's for. And then recently, we also launched the hover preview feature. So now you can actually go ahead and hover over your content just to see exactly what each post is. You don't have to actually physically click into the post anymore. You can just hover and see a little preview. And then if that's the post that you want to see, you just go ahead and click right into it. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to click into this post here. And right off the bat, you guys are going to see on the top left-hand corner, you're going to see the platform that it's for. So this was the Instagram post that I clicked into. You're also going to see that every post that you generate always lands in an unscheduled status, okay? So you never have to worry about anything going out without you approving it beforehand. So, you know, maybe you generate all of April and then you get busy, you get sidetracked and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't get a chance to look at that content. Is that going out the door? Don't worry, nothing goes out without your approval first, okay? And whether you want to take the time to like really read every single caption, change your designs, get really, really creative. Or if you've already set up your colors, your headshots, your logos, and you're like, you know what, cool, great. I just need some content going out. I'm not really nitpicky about, you know, the exact design or the exact wording. I'm totally fine. I just want to approve it all in one go. You can click approve content and approve all if you want to approve it all in one go. But if you want to review it, don't worry. It's unscheduled. Nothing goes out without your approval first. So it's always going to land as unscheduled. You're also going to see the time. So remember, I picked 7 a.m. So the time is in here for 7 a.m. But again, if let's say for this specific Instagram post, I want to change it to 9 a.m. or 6 p.m., I can go ahead and change it. I can also change the day if I decide, hey, you know what, I actually don't want this going out on the 19th anymore. I changed my mind. I'd rather have it going out on the 30th. I can go ahead and change that all while it's in the unscheduled status. The first thing you guys are going to want to do is to check out your caption, okay? So your caption that goes along with your post, your caption is always going to be in the middle right here. So as you scroll through your generated posts for the day, you're going to see that even if you have generated with the same topic, so before I generated, you know, bringing kids to open houses, even if you've generated with the same topic, every caption is going to be optimized for each individual platform. So you're not going to see the same caption over and over again. You're going to see a different caption for every platform. Gives you tons of variety. You're going to want to look at that caption. You can give it a quick once over. If you want to make any changes to that caption, go ahead, click edit caption, and you can make any changes you would like, whether it's a big change or whether it's just something small. You know, maybe you want to delete an entire paragraph, or maybe you're like, oh, you know what, I don't love that emoji. Let's do that. Or you want to write your own thing in there. Go ahead, write whatever you want, and you can make changes to that caption. So super, super easy to do that manually. Now, let's say that caption has generated, you've taken a quick look at it and you're like, ooh, you know what? Actually, I want to retry this. I want to regenerate this caption. You can click into regenerate this caption. And now what this is going to do is this is going to give you a bunch of different options. So you can make the caption shorter. You can make it more personal. So this is taking more of your profile questions and sprinkling them throughout. Or you can make it less personal, which is taking, you know, your profile questions out and it's making that caption less personal. It's not kind of relating it back to you or your bio or your niche, okay? So you can choose a quick kind of shortcut if you want any of these. Or if you want to ask the AI to do something specific, you can ask it here. So you can say, you know, focus more on this or focus less on that, or use more of these words, or rewrite this in a bullet point form style, or you know, rewrite this with a humorous spin. Maybe you want kind of like a funny caption. You can go ahead, you can type it right in there, click regenerate. It's going to regenerate that entire caption for you along with whatever design it's created. So that's why I always suggest look at your caption first, because when you regenerate that caption, if you choose to, it's actually going to regenerate the words on your design too. So you want to kind of look at that caption first before you take all this time looking at your design, and then you go back in and you decide to regenerate your caption after the fact. So start with your caption. We also recently launched this little checkbox right here. So let's say you want to regenerate that caption, but you don't want to regenerate the copy on the slides. You're okay with, I regenerate the caption, but maybe you don't really necessarily care if the copy on the design matches the caption. You can go ahead and uncheck this regenerate slide copy, and that'll just regenerate the caption for you. It's going to leave that original slide copy. So entirely up to you. You've got tons of options here. Once you are happy with that caption, now you can go ahead and take a look at that design, okay? So on the right side, you're going to see a bunch of additional features. Don't worry, we're going to make our way back to that after we've gone ahead and played with this design. So we are going to come back to that. I'm not ignoring it. We're just going to hop into the editor first, play around with editing the design, and then we're going to hop into some of the more fun additional features. So you take a look at your post. If you're like, okay, cool, these are my colors, my colors are yellow and orange. This is very Austin, totally works, fantastic. I can go ahead and schedule and approve it if I want. Or if I want to make some changes, let's say I'm like, ooh, I like that, but I'm kind of thinking a different background, or I'm kind of thinking maybe I want this post to be a little more orange than it is yellow. Or I want to see what kinds of templates we have to work with. You can click into edit design underneath your design. And what that's going to do is that's going to open up the editor for you. Okay. So this opens up your design directly in an editor. Think of this as kind of similar to like Canva. This is going to allow you to edit every aspect of your post. So your colors, your templates, your headshot, your logo, your images, the fonts, absolutely everything you can edit from within this editor. Okay. So when you click into edit design, you're going to see, okay, this is my carousel post, and I can click through each individual slide just right down here to take a closer look. If I want to make any copy changes, I can very easily double click into the text box, type in any copy changes, or delete anything I want deleted. You can also set the font in here. So let's say you have a specific font you want to see on this slide, you can do that. Font size, font color, bold, italicize, uppercase, everything, underline, the alignment. You can change every aspect of it just by double clicking into the text, okay? Makes it super, super easy. Down here, you're going to see the slides. So let's say you want to remove a slide entirely. Click that trash can, remove that slide entirely. That slide is now gone. Or if you want to rearrange, just grab and drop your slide into wherever you want it to show up in the carousel. Super, super easy. You're going to see that you always land in your templates when you go into edit design. So in your templates, you're going to see a ton of templates down here, okay? Because this is a carousel post, this is showing all of my carousel templates, so image templates. I'm scrolling down through here. There's tons to choose from. We've made sure that they're very kind of minimalistic. They kind of match regardless of where you are. If you're in New York versus if you're in California, this is going to work for you in here. It's not location specific. It's just a very nice, modern interior, cool, awesome. If you want to choose from any of these templates, you can very easily kind of scroll down, find a template that you like. Now, when you're in here in the templates, my biggest suggestion here is to open up these quick controls, okay? Click into these quick controls, this red kind of upper area right here. And this is going to open up some quick controls for you. And what this does is this is actually going to take your color palette. So my colors were orange and yellow, and it's going to give you a variety of your color palette. And when you click into one of those color palettes, it's going to immediately add that color palette to all of those suggested templates on the left side. So see how now all of them show the yellow? So now I can see, okay, if I use, let's say if I change, I'm going to go to this first slide here. Let's say if I change to this template right here, now I can see it with my colors. Or if I do another color variation, now I can see what it's going to look like with my other color variation. So it gives you you quickly apply your colors to all of those suggested templates. So you're not having to do it, template by template, slide by slide. Same as your header font, your subtext font, and your contact font. So your header font is this bigger font here. Subtext font is the smaller font. Contact fonts are down here. if you have a specific font you want to see on your templates. Let's say you always use, poster for an example. You can go ahead and you can just add it right here. We do poster and poster. And now as you scroll down, you're going to see every single one of those templates with poster and poster. So now you know, okay, this is kind of my little preview. It's been applied to everything. I don't have to go ahead and do it, one by one. I can see exactly whether or not I like the look of that, or if there's something I want to tweak additionally. Recently, we also launched the ability to set your contact font, which is really exciting. So if there's a specific font you want to see for your contact variables as well, you can set it in here. You are also going to notice that we launched some new additional fonts down here. So as you scroll through, you're going to see some additional fonts to choose from. So the quick controls are definitely a feature that you want right off the bat. If you want to make a change to your templates, I definitely suggest when you go into the editor, first thing you do is click into that quick controls, choose your colors, makes it super, super easy for you to then choose a template. Now you're also going to notice underneath templates is reels. So if you decide, hey, I actually don't want a carousel post anymore, I actually would rather swap this over to a reel, go ahead, choose reels. It's going to give you some reel templates. So now you can click into one of these and you can change it to a reel. So as you can see, there's no more slides down at the bottom. Now it's switched it to one of those aesthetic B-roll videos, and it's changed it to that hook. So, Austin downtown blends tech careers, vibrant city life, and no state income tax, read caption. So if you like that, you're like, okay, fantastic. But you know what? I actually want to change the video in the back. Now you can open up the reels on the left and you've got a ton of videos to choose from here to plop into the background. So tons of aesthetic B-roll videos. We actually just launched 85 new videos last week. So you should see a ton of new videos in there if you're trying to, sprinkle in some video content. For the sake of this, though, I do want to keep the carousel style post. So I am just going to undo and go back to the carousel style post. Let's say we've chosen this template and we're like, okay, this is great. I want to use this template. This is a good starting point for me, but I do want to make some additional changes. I actually want to change the background images of this carousel. Now you can click into images. It's going to take you to the image library. If you guys have been on one of these calls before, you know there are over 20,000 images to choose from in here. There is literally everything from interiors, exteriors, warmer climates, colder climates, more rural areas. There's big cities. There's even people. There's activities like dog walking and canoeing and biking, people at the park, families. Tons of different things to choose from in here. There's a lot. So what it's going to do is it's going to bring you directly to wherever in the photo album your current background photo is. So you can see at a glance, okay, cool. We've kind of started here. If you want to see the latest photos, we are consistently adding new photos on a weekly basis. If you want to see what's recently been added to the library, just scroll up to the top. You're going to see all the most recent ones load into the top up here. And you can kind of take a look at what's new. You're also going to see this nice little search and filter option. Now, with the search and filter, the AI is still learning to take a look at these and kind of categorize them by area. My biggest suggestion here is if you're finding that when you're searching, it's not finding everything, just take some time. Honestly, there's a lot of photos in here, but if you take some time to kind of scroll through, you're going to see that there are tons of photos that might not show up in the search. So let's say you want to change the background of this image and we're like, okay, let's find a photo that's Austin-y, something sunny. We're scrolling down here. These are more mountainous. Okay, cool. I like this picture right here, this nice sky. Let's say I want to change the background of all my images to be this photo here. I'm going to click these three dots and I'm going to scroll down to set all backgrounds. And what that does is that takes that photo, it plugs it into the background of all of the carousel slides. Now, let's say I want to change the photo of each individual slide so that it's different. I can click into the slide I want to change. I find the photo I want to change it to, and I click those three dots and I go set as background. So it only changes that one background. Then I click into the next one and I choose this one here, set as background, click into the next one, choose this one here, set as background, click into the next one. Beautiful. And let's do this last one is going to be this. Okay, cool. Now I have a different background image in every slide. It only took me a couple of seconds. And you'll notice that when you are choosing your photos, we have very intentionally grouped the photos in very similar image with a very similar images, kind of like-minded images. So that way, if you want to change just the background to be just one photo, you can totally do that. But if you want to change it to be a different photo per each slide, or if you want to maybe alternate one photo than the next, one photo than the next, you can very easily do that. And you can do that with images that are very similar. They look very cohesive. It looks like you took a ton of time to find these similar images, looks very intentional, but we've just grouped them in a way that makes your life a lot easier if you're trying to kind of, create a carousel with similar images. You are also going to notice these little hearts in the top left-hand corner, okay? So all the images within the image library all have these little hearts. And when you click these little hearts, for any images that you like. So let's say I love all these photos right here. Beautiful, like. You're going to notice that up here within the image folder, within the image tab under folders, you are going to notice that every account has a favorites folder. And when you heart an image, that image will immediately be filed into your favorites folder. So that way in the future, when you're editing one of your posts, you can go into images and go directly to favorites. You don't even have to go through the image library if you don't want to. Just go straight to your favorites. You know that these are all images you've already pre-approved, you've already pre-liked. It's going to make editing your posts a million times easier, okay? This is also my biggest suggestion here is if you take, I promise you, it will take 30 to 45 minutes tops to go through the entire image library just once. And if you take that 30 to 45 minutes to just quickly go through and like any images that look like they're in your area or any images that maybe fit your vibe, maybe you're a little, brighter and airier, or maybe your socials are a little bit darker and more moody, go ahead, choose the images that you want to see posted, click the hearts. You're going to beef up that favorites folder. It's going to make editing for you such a breeze in the future. It is also a super, super helpful thing because remember how when we were going through the generation flow, we skipped that advanced settings option at the very bottom. I'm going to show you guys at the very end how you can actually tell the platform to only ever choose from your favorites folder. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys how when you were in the generation flow, you can actually set it so that when you generate content, it only ever chooses from the images that you have already pre-approved. So really, if you just take, 30, 45 minutes tops to go through that image library just once, favorite all your favorite images, beef up your favorites folder, you will be set to go, okay? The other thing to mention is because they are grouped with such like-minded images, this is why it's going to be so quick for you. So for an example, this is kind of a more cottagey kind of lakefront area. If I am, servicing Manhattan, I know that I'm not going to choose anything in this realm. So already when I hit this area, I'm just scrolling right past it. I'm going to the next city. So, okay, here we go. This is a little bit better. Cool. I can like some of these. It makes it really easy. You guys are going to know if you hit an area that is your area or not your area, whether you want to like them or whether you're just scrolling past that grouping of photos. So that's how you guys are going to add images to the backgrounds. If you just want to add an image just as a part of your design, just click into the image. It's going to add it like a sticker, and then you can create collages with that. You can get really creative and maybe blow it up in the middle and then have a little bit of a background to it. You can just really, really kind of get creative with those images. If you have an image that you would like to upload yourself, so let's say you just recently did a local photo shoot or you found a great stock photo you want to use, or you want to upload some images of your team, you can go ahead and click into upload images. You can actually upload your own images and they will land in your uploads folder. So they're going to land right in your uploads folder immediately, and then you can use them in your designs as backgrounds. You can use them as stickers, same as what we just did in the image library. You can upload as many images as you would like. You cannot upload videos into the editor. It is specifically an image editor. We can't edit your videos through here. So that's just something to keep in mind. You're also going to notice that when you upload your images, you can choose to put it in a specific folder. So if you've created a folder that's very specific, very hyper local or kitchens or nature, you can go ahead and tell the platform, hey, I want you to put all of these photos directly into my nature folder. You can do that. You can also upload and import directly from Canva. So if you are a Canva user and if you have integrated your Canva within the integrations, when you click into upload images, you are going to be able to choose to import from Canva. And what that does is that will take a completed design from Canva and bring it into the editor so that you can use it, okay? Things to keep in mind here are for when you bring in your Canva design, every individual element on Canva that you created on Canva is not going to be movable through this editor. There are two completely different editors. So you want to make sure that whatever design you're bringing in is completed or minimalistic. And when I say minimalistic, I mean, something like this. This can very easily be used as a background, okay? Or something like this. This can very easily be used as a background or a sticker, keeping in mind that, hey, if you want to change the color of that butterfly to blue, you can't do that through our editor because that was created in Canva. So you'll have to do that before you bring it in. So those are some things to keep in mind. If you're bringing in a full design with tons of text and tons of elements, just know that you may then, when you bring it in, and if you use it as a background, you may then just need to delete some of the elements on our editor. So some of these words so that they're not overlapping on top of your design. So those are just some things to keep in mind. If you're bringing in Canva, make sure that it's a completed design, that you keep in mind that they're two different editors. So each individual element, you're not going to be able to, change the colors. Or I like stuff like this. This is already done. This is a great image that I can use as a backdrop to create testimonials and stuff like that. Just knowing that I'm not going to change any aspect of this image. Then the next is your shapes. So you can also add shapes to any of your designs. You'll see up here, we've got a ton of different shapes to choose from. Any shape that you're kind of interested in, you can go ahead and click into it. It's going to show you the options within that shape folder. So let's say I want to add a star. I just go ahead and click into it. And then you're going to see a ton of options up here to change the color. So let's say I want to change this to my yellow. You can change the transparency. You can, stretch that shape larger, or you can go ahead and rotate it. So you can really, really get creative with your designs that way. You've got your text. So we have our header text and our subheader text that comes when the AI just generates it. And then you also have the option to add additional text. So let's say you want to add an additional call to action or piece of information. Go ahead, click that add text. It's going to give you an additional text box. And then you can type whatever you would like in there. You can set the font, the color, the size. You can place it on your design wherever you want to place it. This just gives you that option for those who do want to get creative and just add a little bit more to their designs. They can very easily do that. And then we've got our branding. So this is the contact information that you guys would have set up with Nick. So any of your contact variables that you set up, if they are a part of the design, they will immediately be toggled on. And then you can kind of take a look at it and see, okay, maybe for this one, you don't want your phone number on there. You can go ahead and toggle it off to remove it, or you can go ahead and change it. As you guys know, these are just suggestion variables. So if you don't want to put your brokerage, you don't have to. You could easily put your DRE number in there, or license number, or maybe you have like a catchphrase that you like to add to the bottom of your contact information. You can go ahead and do that. You can type whatever you want into there. Always keeping in mind that variable number 1, so your name is always going to show up bigger on all of the suggested templates. So make sure, at least for that first variable, you're adding something that you care about or that you want being very prominent. You're going to notice as you scroll down, if you have uploaded more than one headshot of yourself or more than one logo, you can very easily swap the logo. Let's say I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually don't want my icon logo. I want my longer yoga logo. You can go ahead and click into it. It's just going to swap that logo immediately for you. Very, very easy. I definitely suggest if you have multiple headshots of yourself, put them in here, put your headshot facing this way, your headshot facing that way, different outfits, stuff like that. This is a great place to have your headshots. And then you can just very easily click through, add different headshots to different posts. You are also going to see here that when you go through the suggested templates, some templates have your contact information on all slides. Some templates have your contact information on the first slide and the last slide, or just the last slide, or just the first slide, like this one. This is very intentional, okay? So it's not, this template, oh shoot, there's no contact information on the fourth slide or on the fifth slide. It's very intentional. We intentionally made those suggested templates in a way that there's a ton of variety. So you're going to see some that have it on all, you're going to see some that don't have it, some that have it on the last one. Very, very intentional. If you would like your contact information on all slides in a template that doesn't have it, it's okay, toggle them all on. Click to apply all, it's going to apply it on all slides, and then you have it on all slides. So it's entirely up to you. If you guys have been on an advanced training with me before, you know how I feel about contact information. I think that you should use it sparingly, but it's entirely up to you. I think that you need to think about the average user when they land on your social media. Are they wanting to see an entire page of just headshots of you over and over and over again? More likely than not, they don't. So I always say, use that contact information sparingly. Have it in some posts, don't have it in others. Maybe include it just in the last slide in some of them. You don't need to have it on every single slide. If somebody has made it through your Instagram and they are on the second last slide, I can promise you, if they are interested in getting in touch with you, they can find that information on your bio. They can find that information in all the other posts you have on your profile, okay? So don't stress about oh my gosh, absolutely every single piece of information needs to go out with this exact. I'm going to show you guys how you can add all of your contact information, including your DRE number, license number, all that, to the caption portion so that you always have it going out, but that it's not, on every single design that goes out, if that's something that you want. If the contact information is something that you do want put on everything, again, it's entirely up to you. You can toggle it all on, apply all, super, super easy. Now, before we head out of the editor, I want to show you a couple additional things in here. So of course you can control your layers. So with each slide and every single element on the design, you're going to find that within the layers. So if, you add a shape and you want to make sure that shape ends up behind your headshot and not blocking your face, or, like these two triangles up here, you want to make sure they're on top of the rectangle here and they're not, getting hidden behind it. You can go into your layers and you have full layer control. You just simply pull, drag and drop things into the order that you want them to appear. Very easy, works the exact same way as other editing platforms. You can also change your brightness. So if you want to change your brightness for all the slides or maybe individual slides, you can do that up here. You can sift through your color palettes, so additional color palettes that we have provided or that you have created yourself. If you want to go ahead and find a specific color palette or create a new color palette just to kind of use within the editor, you can do that up here. You can undo and redo, of course. And then you also have this little feature right here, okay? So this little link feature, think of this as kind of like a master paperclip, okay? So this little link, it's like a paperclip, like a little infinity sign. Right now, that link is turned off. If I click into it, that link is opened up, it's turned on, okay? The best way to describe this is that this is basically telling the editor, I want you to link my slides together. I want the link to be turned on so that when I am editing this slide right here, whatever I do to this slide, this is my master slide. I want you to do it to all of the other slides within this carousel. And what I mean by that is I have this link turned on. I'm telling the platform, listen to what I'm doing, do it to the rest of the slides. So I am going to take this subtext down here. Oh, not that, hold on. This subtext down here, and I'm going to pull it down further. And now if I scroll down, you can see it's been pulled down further on all of the following slides. I didn't have to go in slide by slide by slide to do it. Having that link open basically told the editor, these are all linked, do the same thing. So let's say I do that with the header too. I go like this, I pull the header all the way down. Now I go down, it has pulled the header for all the slides all the way down. makes it so easy for you to make changes to all of your slides without having to go in one by one. Now, when that link is turned off, I'm telling the editor, no, I don't want any of these to be linked. I want you to treat each individual slide like a completely separate thing. And so now when I move this header back up here and I go down here, none of the rest of them have moved. Now it knows I'm only treating this slide as its own individual thing, and I'm not going to make those changes across the board. That is a little feature that makes a world of a difference when you're editing. So definitely get comfortable and get familiar with that feature, because that's going to be something that if you are really getting creative with the post, that's going to make editing just so nice and quick and easy. And then the final thing is, if you are happy with this design, you're like, you know what, this is something that I want to use in the future. I'll move this back down. This is something I want to use again in the future. I want to use this as a starting point, as an option. So instead of just those suggested templates, I want to be able to come back to this design that I just created and use it in the future. Maybe I'll swap out the background, maybe I'll swap out the colors or the fonts, but this is a good starting point, and I want to make sure I can access this for future posts. In that case, you click into save as a template, you save as a new template, and now underneath your templates, in saved templates, you're going to see that you have a ton. Any saved templates that you save are going to land directly in here. So in the future, when you're editing a post, you can very easily click into your saved templates, say, okay, where's my starting point now? I want to start with this, and kind of start working with that as my starting point. Makes it really, really easy. So this is a great way if you are going to be one of those people that's getting creative with the platform and that's kind of making your own templates. Every time you like a template, make sure you save that template before you exit, and then you'll be able to go back into that and use that again in the future. When you're happy with your design, we're like, okay, great, let's go ahead, let's save and exit. And now that's going to save that design for us. And now we're like, okay, fantastic, cool. Our changes have been made. Now we can go ahead and decide whether or not we want to go ahead and schedule that. So if we are happy with that, we've taken a look at the caption, we've edited the design, we can go ahead, we can click schedule and approve. Amazing. Now that post has swapped to scheduled. It's going to publish on this day and this time. In the content calendar, it has changed to scheduled. It is locked in. It's going to go out. No further changes can be made. We are all good to go. You're set. If you want to make further changes to it, things to keep in mind are that you need to make changes to your post before your post publishes. As soon as your post changes to a posted status, so something like this, posted, as soon as it changes to a posted status, it means that it is out in the wild. It has posted to the platform that you've chosen. And if you want to go ahead and make additional changes, you actually have to go to that platform. So go to Instagram on your phone or on your computer and make the changes after the fact. You're not going to be able to make any changes through this platform, so through RealEstateContent.ai, and have it, convert over to a live post on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. So make sure if you're making any changes, you make them before your post publishes, okay? If you do want to make any changes, do it before the date and the time. Make sure you unschedule your post first. That's going to open everything up. It is no longer locked in. Now you can make any additional design changes, caption changes, any of that good stuff. You do have to unschedule it first before you can make any changes. We're going to hop into these additional features here on the right-hand side. So more features. Let's say you're like, you know what, cool, but I want to kind of see what else I can do. So here on the right-hand side, it's always going to land in post caption. This right here, the syndicate post, you can completely ignore that. That's on my account because mine is a team account and I'm an admin for a team plan. So you're not going to see that on yours. Completely ignore that. You are going to see tag and collaborate on Instagram posts specifically. So if you are somebody who is already using the collaborate or the tag feature on Instagram, this is going to work the exact same way, but this is going to allow you to schedule it in advance. So collaborations show up. So this post will show up on both your feed as well as the person who you are collaborating with. You will essentially share that post, and any engagement it gets, it's going to go to both of your Instagram accounts. Tags are tagged posts, so it will show up in their tagged post. It's not going to be on their feed, but it's going to be in their tag posts. Things to keep in mind here are that with collaborations, you can collaborate with up to 4 users. They need to be public profiles. with tags. You can tag up to 20 users. And you need to make sure that when you type in their handle that you are typing it in correctly, okay? So be mindful of zeros and O's and underscores and dashes and all that good stuff. You want to make sure that when you're typing it in, if it's Nick underscore the realtor, I need to make sure that that underscore is indeed an underscore and not a dash. And maybe he's, 09. I need to make sure that that is a 0 and I'm not accidentally putting 09. Otherwise, I'm going to tag or collaborate with the wrong person. Collaborations are going to work the same way that they do on Instagram. So on the date and the time of publishing, that person is going to get a notification in their actual Instagram app. They actually have to go in and approve that collaboration for it to show up on both posts. Tags are going to work the same way they do on Instagram as well. If that person happens to have some sort of setting that doesn't allow for people to tag them, or where they need to approve a tag beforehand, they will still need to do that. So just be mindful of that. Sometimes some users have specific settings on their Instagram. So it's always going to follow the rules that they have set on their Instagram. The next is convert to video. This is my favorite feature. If you guys have been on an advanced training with me before, you know how much I love this feature. This is basically going to take any carousel post, so any post that has multiple slides like this, and it's going to allow you to turn it into a slideshow video. So this is a perfect way to sprinkle in some more video content without actually having to film anything. So you have your aesthetic B-roll videos, but you also can do these slideshow videos. So you can take any carousel post, you can choose your slide pause time, you can choose your transition type, you can choose some audio, so some music to go along with it, and then you click convert video. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you a nice little post like this, which is basically your carousel post turned into a slideshow video. So great way to sprinkle in some more video content. Really awesome. You can do that with your listings. You can do it with your market reports if you're in the States. You can do it with this post. You can do it with your own post from scratch. Really, really great little additional feature if you want to sprinkle in some more videos. You also have the ability to generate an AI image. So if you have generated your post and you didn't go into the editor, but you're like, you know what, I actually have a vision for what would be a perfect photo in the background. And I don't want to go through the image library, and I don't have a stock photo that I've saved, but I have this vision for what I think would be very great in the background. You can actually go ahead, you can click into generate AI image. What this does is this allows you to generate a completely unique one-of-one AI image on the spot. Literally in real time, you just tell the AI exactly what you want the image to look like, and it will generate it for you. It's going to give you a little description of what it thinks would make a great image. It's always going to toggle people on. My biggest suggestion here for the advanced users, toggle people off, give it your own description, and it can be something quick like cozy cottage exterior by the lake at sunset. Something like that. I like something very straightforward. I also like to toggle people off because I like images like this, where they're just very straightforward. They're clean. Again, entirely up to you what your kind of online brand looks like. But if you are just wanting like a nice, clean image, just be straight to the point and turn people off. AI sometimes aims to please. So I find that sometimes it can be a little over people pleasing, and then it gives you a little bit too much of a description and a little bit too many people. So if you kind of limit it like this, you tell it exactly, this is what I want, it's going to generate something beautiful. I have an example of that I'll show you right now. This description right here was just the Austin skyline at sunset, and it quite literally gave me the Austin skyline at sunset. You don't even have to go into the editor. You don't have to upload a photo. You don't have to look through the images. You just simply tell the AI, swap the background with this specific background. It's going to generate it for you, and just swap it and put it right in the background. Then you can also generate a video script. So let's say if you are a person who is comfortable on video, if you are already taking your own videos, you already are picking up your phone, you're taking a video of yourself, you're maybe generating scripts elsewhere and following them. If you generate any post on here and you like the caption and you like the copy and you're like, ooh, this is great, I can make a video about this. Go ahead, click generate video script. This is going to give you a video script that you can follow. You can't record using this platform, but this is for those who are already recording using their phone and they just need that script. So you pick up your phone, you hit record, you follow this script. You follow that script, and now you've got a video that matches that caption perfectly. And now let's say you're like, I love this caption. I want to keep this caption, but I actually would rather just put my own video, the one that I just took. I would rather put that into here and schedule my own video to go out with that nice caption. You can click those three dots. You can upload media, and then you can upload your own video right into there. And you've got a video that matches that caption. You can go ahead and schedule and approve. You can also do this with photos. So an example here is right here. I have this nice caption that was generated by the platform, but I said, hey, you know what? I would rather do my own photo. I went ahead, I clicked those three dots. I uploaded a photo. It completely scrapped that design that it had generated, and it uploaded my photo in here instead. So now I'm sprinkling some more of my content in here. Maybe it's a photo, maybe it's a video, but now I'm getting some more of my like personal photos out there without even having to write a caption. It just swaps whatever was generated with whatever photo you want to see. And finally, you can check out your sources. So if you want to see where did the AI find this online, go ahead, click into sources. It's going to tell you exactly where that caption was sourced from. You can click into the different sources. So, 13 best states for Gen Z professionals, nightlife, music, venues and bars in Austin, best Austin neighborhoods for buyers who want walkability 2026 guide. You can kind of see exactly where it got that information from. Now, finally, a couple additional things that I want to make sure we cover before we head back into the advanced settings are the ability to create your own post from scratch. So if you are a person who is already, posting your own post from scratch, or maybe you want to challenge yourself to do it a couple times a month, or maybe you just came back from a really, really great conference this past weekend and you're like, oh, I want to post this great team photo and just have it go out on all my socials. You can use the content calendar as a scheduler as well. Okay, so you're going to pick the day that you want to post your post for. So let's say let's do the 17th. You click into more options and you're going to scroll down to upload your own content. This is going to give you a completely blank post from scratch. So no caption, no design, no nothing. You can go ahead, you can choose the date, the time. It's going to default to Instagram, but click into it, tell it exactly which platforms you want to create posts for, okay? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Now, if you have a caption and your caption is perfectly fleshed out, go ahead, type it in. You're all good to go, or copy and paste it in. Or you can even type it in real time. So we can say, had a fantastic time at the Austin Real Estate Conference last weekend. Our team learned a lot and we are excited to help our clients in 2026. So as you can see, not the greatest caption. I haven't even capitalized Austin. Let's just say I'm like, you know what, that's all I got in me today. I got nothing else. That's okay. Type in what you got and then you click enhance caption. And what that does is that's taking that caption that you wrote and AI is zhuzhing it up for social media. So it's making it a little bit longer, a little bit more informational. We're going to give it some time just to do its thing. And now it's going to take that crappy little caption I had and it's going to give us something that we can actually work with. So we'll give it a second to do that. Perfect. So now we've got this nice long caption. Our team had an incredible time at the Austin Real Estate Conference last weekend, and we are coming back with a wealth of knowledge to share. With 30 years of experience in this market, I still find it vital to stay ahead of the curve to ensure our clients have every advantage. Being born and raised right here in Austin, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Amazing. Great. I didn't have to write a thing. Now let's say I want to regenerate that. I'm like, you know what? I want this to actually be a little bit shorter. I click that regenerate this caption button. It's also available in the manual posts. I say, make this 5 sentences or less. I just want it to be a little bit shorter. Let's do shorter. You go ahead, you click regenerate. It's regenerating that whole caption for you. Now you've got a nice short one. Our team just returned from the Austin Real Estate Conference with fresh insights to ensure our clients stay ahead of the curve, et cetera, et cetera. It's one paragraph instead of multiples. Now I need an image. I can go ahead and I can upload my own media. So let's say I have my own photo I want to upload. I can upload it so that it looks like this. It's my team. It's a nice caption. Or if I don't have a photo or a video I want to upload, That's okay. I can actually go into edit design and I can access the editor through here and I can make something from scratch. I can take a photo, I can take different texts, different fonts. I can make something entirely from scratch. Maybe I want to do like a happy Easter post or a welcome April post. I can get really creative just literally right in here without even having to leave the platform. I click save and exit, and then I've got a nice designed post that I can just publish. So makes it super, super easy. I'm going to delete that. That's how you're going to schedule your own posts. You're also going to notice that as your posts are in an unscheduled status, let's say you have a post in the past like this, an expired post, and you want to, bring it into the future. You forgot to schedule this post and you're like, oh shoot, actually, I want this to go out. You can take that and you can drag it into the future. Anything that is in an expired status or an unscheduled status, you can very easily drag into different locations within your calendar. You can also duplicate your posts. So for an example, I've created this listing post here. Let's say I love this. I'm like, I want an exact replica of this. You can go ahead, you can click this duplicate button. It's going to duplicate the post entirely. So your design, your caption, absolutely everything. And then through there, maybe on the duplicated post, you say, okay, I want to enter the editor and I actually want to make this an open house post. So you go into edit design, you change the text to say open house, you edit the caption, you add your open house details up there. And now you've got a nice open house post that can go out. Maybe then you say, I actually want this to go out on all platforms, and you select multiple platforms up here. And maybe you duplicate it and then you have this post go out every Friday for the next 3 weeks because you have open houses, every weekend for the next 3 weeks. Makes it really easy. Or if you want to take it one step further, you can go ahead and click that convert video button and take that post and turn it into a video. So I'm just going to turn the volume down so it's not loud for you guys. But now you hit play, you've got that nice, listing post that you've repurposed. You're showcasing that open house, but you're doing it in a different way. Now you've got a video going out. Really, really easy. And then finally, we are going to head into the advanced settings that we had skipped in the beginning. And then I'm going to head into make sure that we don't miss any of the questions that are in the chat. So in the beginning, we had gone through the generation flow. We clicked into generate. We scrolled down through the generation options. And right here in advanced settings, we had skipped that part and we were going to come back. So I'm going to click into those advanced settings. And now these should make a lot more sense to you. So when you open up those advanced settings, these advanced settings are always going to save whatever your last savings settings were. So you don't have to change these every single time you generate content. You can set them once and forget them. But you have a bunch of options in here that are going to make generating so much easier for you. So first is the ability to toggle on save templates. So remember how we created that template? We were like, ooh, this is great. We want to use this in the future. You can go ahead, you can actually toggle on save templates and it will tell the platform only use my save templates. Things to keep in mind here are that obviously it's only going to use the amount of save templates that you have in there. So if you only have 2 or 3 save templates, every piece of content that goes out is going to use those 2 or 3 save templates. So if you are looking for variety, keep this toggled off. This is always going to use those suggested templates. It's going to apply your colors, your headshots, your logos to those suggested templates. So you're going to have a ton of variety. Wait until you build up your save templates into enough variety that it makes sense, and then you can toggle them on. Or if you are the type of person that wants to have the same template go out, that's okay. Go ahead, then you can toggle it on. Those are just some things to keep in mind so that you're not toggling it on and then wondering, what the heck, why is it only using one? If you only have one in there, it's only going to use one. Then we've got the background source. So when you first, set up your advanced settings, these are always going to choose from all. So this is choosing from the 20,000 plus images. However, I highly suggest building up that favorites folder, because then here is where you are going to click into background source and you are going to tell it favorites. I only ever want you to choose from my favorites folder. Don't go through the rest of the library. I want full control. These are the photos that I've approved because they fit my style, or they fit my location, they fit my brand. These are the ones that I've pre-approved. Sync templates is going to basically tell the platform, I want every single template, so those templates that we went through in the editor, to be the same within any given generation on the same day. So if I am generating Facebook, LinkedIn, I'll give you guys an example. If I'm generating, this should be good, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, these are all different posts, but they are all using the same template. Different copy on each post, different captions, all that good stuff, but the template, the design is the same. If you want that, you are going to sync your templates. Entirely up to you. I personally like to, because I'm a bit of a control freak, I like to know exactly what template went out on every platform. So I like to know, okay, on Tuesday, I had more of that square look and it was more yellow. And on Wednesdays, I want more of an orange look. And it's like, I like to have all my templates be the same per each platform. Entirely up to you though, like whatever makes the most sense for you. Apply contact information, apply brand colors, headshot, logo. This is all the stuff that you would have set up on your onboarding with Nick. If you want those variables to be added to your generated posts, make sure they are toggled on. They will immediately be added to any of your generated posts. We recently launched the ability to pick a writing style. So everybody's going to be set to standard, but if you have a specific writing style you prefer, so like bullet points, or you want to go a little more long form, just make sure you choose that. Once you've chosen one, you don't have to go back in and change it every time. It'll always just remember whatever you last wanted. Your emojis, whether or not you want emojis in your captions. Your footer is that little piece of text that gets added to the bottom of your caption. It is a part of your caption. It's very seamlessly included into your caption. It just saves you from having to manually type this in. This is perfect for if you have a specific call to action you want added to the bottom of every caption, or if you have contact information. I really like putting contact information at the end of every caption because I think that keeps your feed nice and clean. It's always in every single caption that goes out. Great place for your DRE number, all that good stuff. Save that footer. That's always going to be added to the end of every generated caption. So you can see here, I got this caption and then I got my footer just right here. Same as the hashtags. If you've got your hashtags, you want them to show up, go ahead, add them in here, toggle them on. You've got your spelling preferences. So we just recently launched the ability to choose your English type. So spelling type, whether it's US English or Canadian English. So for the Canadian users, now you do have the ability to tell the AI, hey, I'm in Canada. I want you to, spell properly for my audience. You can go ahead and set that here. And then your header font, your subtext font, and your contact font. So we had chatted about that in the editor. If there is a specific font that you like, that you want to make sure always shows up on your generated posts, make sure you set it in here. You go ahead, you generate your content. It's going to save your last saved advanced settings. And then you're always going to have kind of what you want, and your editing will have to be very, very minimal if you want to do any editing. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to click into the chat here just to make sure that I have hit everything I need to. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. This is actually a great addition. I was so confused when I logged on recently to start new posts since it had been a while since I was generating. Nikki, there are a lot of new additions. I'm going to try to get through these questions really fast because I have a little sneak peek for you guys as to something that we are launching next week. And it's Good Friday. You guys took the time to be on this call. I feel like you should be the first to know about it before we send out the email. But yeah, we are always launching new things, which is why these advanced trainings are so helpful. Like we definitely are trying to make sure that like as new features are coming out, you guys are getting a chance to kind of train on them. So I'm going to get through these questions really quick so I can give you a little sneak peek because we're really, really excited. Okay. Can we go into detail on how to import a Canva template on your app? Andrea, I will do that in every time I import, I get an error. Andrea, you might have to refresh your integration. If you're getting an error, you might just have to refresh your integration. Might have been a little while, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it when I share my screen again in a sec. Can you save images to more than one folder? Joyce, you can. Yes, you can save images to as many folders as you want. They're just going to show up in all of them. An example is your uploads will always be in your uploads, but you can also add them to nature or hyperlocal or whatever. You'll just see them in both. And your favorites too. You can have something in your favorites. You can also have it in another folder. the little sneak peek over here from Karina. What do you think about talking avatars? I think that's a great idea. And that's definitely going to be, I think you're going to be excited at the end of this call. That's for sure. When starting from scratch, remind me, what are the specs required for importing a video length aspect? Michael, every spec is different depending on each individual platform. So if you shoot Tara and Nick off an email at support, they actually have all the specs just ready to go. So that they'll shoot it back to you with the exact length for each platform. Is there a limit on how many posts you can do each day? There's no limit, Mita. You can go off. That being said, if you were on my call a couple of weeks ago, we had someone else ask this question and they were like, I recently learned or heard that, you have to post 7 times a day per each platform. So like 7 Instagram, 7 Facebook, 7 LinkedIn. Do not do that. That is complete overkill. I don't know who is telling people to do that. Don't do that. You're going to stress yourself out. Your platform is going to look spammy. Like each of your socials are going to look spammy. Don't go overkill. Do, 1 to 2 Instagram posts a day. You don't need to have like 10 Instagram posts go out. Have a couple and then just share manually to your stories. People will see it. They'll be taken to your feed, but you do not need to have like 10 posts per platform go out a day. I don't know who started telling people that, but that's like, people are going to unfollow you really freaking quickly if you are posting 8 times a day on Instagram. Princess, if you missed the upload of carousel, it's okay. I'm going to be sending out a recording of this to everybody at the end. So you can always rewatch and anything that you missed throughout, it'll be in there. Was super helpful, maybe better at keeping up. Don't worry, Nikki, you're totally fine. Now I get the generate video option. Need to try that and mix up the carousels. Yeah, you're so good. And reach out to us literally anytime. If you have any questions at all, Nikki, like don't hesitate. Honestly, like you're never bothering us. Reach out to us. Different personas tied to different handles. We don't have different personas tied to different handles quite yet. It's something that definitely this year we plan on introducing additional handles per each platform. Right now, we only have the ability to connect 1 per, but it's something that I promise is on our radar. Just right now, think of the personas as like point of views rather than individual handles. Unlimited doesn't need to be JPEG. Import from Canva, Karina, is just going to import directly from Canva. It doesn't have to be like whatever the format is in Canva, it should be taking it just directly from Canva. You don't have to have like a specific, you just can't import a video. That's the only thing. In the interim, I can use Collaborate. Yeah. Love that. Great idea. In the interim, use Collaborate. Okay, guys, I really want to show you a little sneak peek of what you can expect coming out next week. We are currently in the testing phase. We're just wrapping up some of like the UX, UI, so the user experience stuff. So I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of it. I think it should be in my calendar still. Okay, beautiful. So we have been working very hard on AI avatars. Very, very excited about this. So we have integrated with HeyGen, where you are going to be able to upload your photo, a snippet of your voice. And then what we're doing is this trending news feature up here. It's okay. Honestly, we don't love it. We think it could be improved. And our vision for kind of the trending news is that trending news tends to do really well when it's a local person, like a local thought leader, teaching their community about what the trending news is. So these are the events happening, or this recent, business opened up, or, stuff like that. It's going to do really well when there's a face behind it telling you about all this great local stuff. And I'm a big believer, if you have been on our advanced trainings before, I'm a big believer in that people only follow real estate agents if they are local experts. People are not following real estate agents because they have this like passion about real estate. Like, let's be honest, the average human being doesn't really care about, how the market was doing a month ago or how many homes sold in Austin, Texas. Like, they like local stuff. Okay. So we are taking this kind of trending news and we are taking the need for these AI twins. We've had a lot of people ask about those. Hey, I want to add some additional video content. So, maybe you have liked the reels and you like the slideshows, but you're like, oh, I'm just like not super comfortable taking videos of myself. Now we are going to convert that trending news feature into like a local thought leadership feature where it will search news that is trending in your area. And then you are going to be able to set up your AI twin so that looks like you, that talks like you, and it is going to find a trending news article. You're going to choose it. You're going to approve the script beforehand, and then it's going to turn it into a video. So I hope you guys can hear this through the screen. I'm going to hit play. Hopefully it works. Maybe I'll just open this up because I know Michael will give me a thumbs up if he can.
Austin just scored big
here.
Oka Foods right here in town just won HEB's $50,000 prize for their peanut butter bites. This isn't just about snacks. It shows how local Austin brands are making a mark of East Texas. Out of dozens of finalists, our own homegrown company took the top spot. The real story, this puts Austin's food scene on the map and opens doors for more local products in major stores. Keep an eye out. These bites could be everywhere soon. So exciting.
Awesome. So Michael, could you hear that okay? Yeah? Okay, cool. Let me stop sharing. So we are just in the final testing phase of it. We're making a couple tweaks where you upload your photo and record your video and all that good stuff. But this is going to give you guys another option for if you are wanting to put out some video content and you're seeing, some other agents starting to post these kind of AI twins. Now you're also going to be able to start sprinkling these kind of more thought leadership articles. You're also going to be able to give it an exact trending article. So maybe you find something online, you're like, oh, this is really good. I actually want my AI twin to create a post about this. You can drop a URL in there. It's going to read it and then it'll create a post for you. I'm going to go into the chat super quick. First trending news, but with that, yes, Nikki, it's going to expand to other generations. We're just starting with the trending news because we feel that feature is a little bit of an upgrade, and just with being like a local thought leader, we're like, let's start here, let's see what people think about it, and then we'll integrate into the other posts. Saves me time trying to create a twin separately. Yeah, exactly. Paul, thank you so much. I noticed your comments on our Facebook, so I wanted to say thank you so much for that. I'm really glad to see you here here on the training today. Yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys that. That's a little sneak peek. Nobody knows about it yet. Literally nobody. We haven't wrote the emails. We haven't done any of the training videos for it. Nothing. We're just in the final kind of phases of tweaking it and making sure it's perfect and working on the speed. Right now, what we've noticed is that it's taking a little while to create your AI avatar. So we're trying to figure out how to kind of speed that up, or just make it clear that this takes a little bit, but once you've done it once, it'll be worth it. So you can put the URL of the article. Yes, Mita, you can do that. So in the topic bar, you can copy and paste the URL of any article you want to create content around. It's going to use it as a reference. So instead of searching the internet, it's going to read whatever your URL is and use that as the reference. Just make sure that it is I'm probably going to get kicked off here, you guys, for onboarding. So I'm going to say bye. I'm going to send you guys this recording. Thank you so much for coming today. Have a fantastic week. And Mita, just shoot us an email if you have additional questions. I'm just afraid that Nick is about to kick us off of this account right now. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining today. Have a fantastic weekend.